Once upon a time, in the bustling city of Enugu, there were three men named Chike, Uche, and Tunde who worked together at a prestigious insurance company called Gold Life Assurance. These three friends were not just colleagues, they were like brothers. Every day, they would eat lunch together under the big mango tree in the company compound. They would laugh, tell jokes, and talk about their dreams. But there was one dream they all shared. They wanted to get married. "I am tired of living alone," Chike said one afternoon as they sat under the mango tree. "I want a good woman who will stand by me, a woman who is hardworking and loyal." "Me too," Uche agreed, nodding his head. "I don't care if she's rich or poor, as long as she has a good heart and is willing to work hard with me to build our future." Then Tunde laughed. He laughed so hard that the other two men looked at him with confused faces. "What is funny?" Chike asked. Tunde wiped tears from his eyes. "Ha ha, my brothers, you are both fools. Why would I marry a poor woman who will stress me with her problems? No, no, no. I want a rich woman, a woman whose family has money. That way, I can enjoy life without suffering." Chike and Uche looked at each other. They did not agree with Tunde, but he was their friend, so they said nothing. "Money is not everything," Uche finally said quietly. "Easy for you to say," Tunde replied. "But I have seen poverty. I have tasted suffering. I will never be poor again. My wife must come with money." The three friends continued their search for wives. Every weekend, they would attend different parties, church programs, and social gatherings, hoping to meet the right women. 3 months later, something interesting happened. Chike met a woman named Amaka at a friend's wedding. Amaka was a nurse at the general hospital. She was not very rich, but she was beautiful, kind, and hardworking. Chike fell in love with her immediately. "She is the one," he told his friends excitedly. "Amaka is everything I want in a woman." 2 weeks after that, Uche also found love. Her name was Ngozi, and she was a teacher at a primary school. Ngozi was gentle, respectful, and very intelligent. Uche was so happy that he could not stop smiling. "I am the luckiest man alive," he would say every day. But Tunde had not found anyone yet. All the women he met were either too poor for his liking or already married. "Don't worry, my brother," Chike encouraged him. "Your own will come." Tunde nodded, but deep inside he was becoming desperate. Then one day, everything changed for Tunde. It was a Friday evening, and the three friends decided to attend a party hosted by their boss. The party was at a big hotel in Enugu, and many rich people were there. That was where Tunde saw her. Her name was Adaize, and she was the most beautiful woman Tunde had ever seen. She wore expensive jewelry, her clothes looked like they cost a fortune, and she carried herself like a queen. But that was not what caught Tunde's attention the most. What really caught his attention was when someone whispered to him, "That is Adaize. Her father is Chief Okonkwo, one of the richest men in Enugu. They have houses everywhere, and her father owns 3 companies." Tunde's heart began to beat fast. This was exactly what he had been looking for. He walked up to Adaize with confidence. "Good evening, beautiful lady. My name is Tunde." Adaize looked at him from head to toe. Then she smiled. "Hello, Tunde. I am Adaize." They talked for hours that night. Tunde made sure to impress him with his smooth words. He told her he worked at Gold Life Assurance and had big dreams for the future. Adaize seemed interested. Before the party ended, she gave him her phone number. "Call me," she said with a sweet smile. Tunde was overjoyed. He immediately went to tell his friends, "I have found her! I have found my rich wife!" But Chike and Uche noticed something strange. When they looked at Adaize from across the room, they saw something in her eyes that made them uncomfortable. "Tunde, are you sure about this girl?" Chike asked carefully. "Sure? Are you mad? She's perfect. Her father is Chief Okonko, Tunde replied. But do you love her, or do you just love her father's money? Uche asked. Tunde became angry. You people are just jealous. While you marry poor women who will suffer you, I will be enjoying my rich wife's money. Chike and Uche said nothing more. They knew their friend had already made up his mind. The courtship began. Tunde visited Adeze every weekend. He bought her gifts with the little money he had saved. He took her to expensive restaurants, even though it was draining his bank account. But he did not mind. He kept telling himself, this is an investment. Once I marry her, I will have access to her father's wealth. Adeze also seemed to like Tunde. She would laugh at his jokes and call him sweet names. After 6 months of dating, Tunde decided it was time to take the relationship to the next level. He went to meet Chief Okonko to ask for Adeze's hand in marriage. Chief Okonko was a big man with a deep voice. He sat in his mansion, smoking a pipe, as Tunde nervously explained why he had come. So, you want to marry my daughter? Chief Okonko asked. Yes, sir. I love her very much, Tunde replied, though in his heart he knew he loved the idea of her wealth more than he loved her. Chief Okonkwo studied Tunde for a long time. Then he said, Young man, my daughter is used to a certain kind of life. Can you provide that life for her? I will do my best, sir, Tunde stammered. Well, if my daughter says yes, then I have no objection. But remember, I am watching you. Adeze said yes, and the wedding preparations began. Meanwhile, Chike and Uche also got engaged to their girlfriends. All three friends planned to get married around the same time. They were excited, though Chike and Uche still had concerns about Tunde's choice. Tunde, have you really spent time getting to know Adeze? Chike asked one day. Do you know what she likes? What makes her happy? What her values are? Tunde waved his hand dismissively. I know everything I need to know. She's rich, beautiful, and she agreed to marry me. What else matters? Uche shook his head sadly. Love matters, my brother. Character matters. But Tunde would not listen. The wedding day arrived. All three friends got married on the same weekend. It was a joyful time. Chike married Amaka in a simple but beautiful ceremony. Uche married Ngozi the next day, and it was also a lovely wedding. But Tunde's wedding to Adaiye was the talk of the town. Chief Okonkwo spent millions of naira on the wedding. There were 10 different types of food, live bands, and even fireworks. Everyone in Enugu came to see the grand wedding. Tunde felt like a king. He have made it, he thought to himself as he looked at all the wealth on display. I have married into money. My suffering is over. But what Tunde did not know was that his real suffering was just beginning. The first few weeks of marriage were like a dream. Adaize's family gave them a house as a wedding gift. It was a big, beautiful house with 5 bedrooms, a swimming pool, and a large compound. Tunde could not believe his luck. He would wake up every morning, look around his new house, and smile. This is the life I have always wanted, he would say to himself. Chief Okonkwo also gave Tunde a brand new car as a wedding present. Tunde felt like he was on top of the world. But slowly, things began to change. The first problem started with Adaze's spending. Tunde soon realized that Adaze liked to spend money, a lot of money. Every week, she would come home with new clothes, new shoes, new bags, and new jewelry. Adaze, don't you think you are spending too much? Tunde asked one day, trying to be gentle. Adaze looked at him like he had grown 2 heads. Spending too much? Tunde, I am Chief Okonko's daughter. This is how I have always lived. Are you saying I should change because of you? No, Tunde quickly said. I just think we should save some money for the future. Adaze laughed a mocking laugh. Save? My father has enough money for 10 generations. Why should I save? Tunde kept quiet. He did not want to upset his wife. The second problem was even worse. Tunde discovered that Adaze did not know how to cook. One evening, Tunde came home from work feeling hungry. "My dear, I am so hungry. What did you cook?" he asked. Adaze was on the couch, watching TV and painting her nails. "Cook? Tunde, I don't cook. Didn't you know that before you married me?" Tunde was shocked. "What do you mean you don't cook? Every wife cooks for her husband." Adaze rolled her eyes. "In my father's house, we had 3 cooks. If you want food, go and buy it or cook it yourself." Tunde could not believe what he was hearing. He was too tired to argue, so he went to the kitchen and cooked a simple meal for himself. As he ate his sad meal of gari and soup, he remembered how his friends' wives, Amaka and Ngozi, always cooked delicious food for their husbands. He felt a pain in his heart. The third problem came soon after. Adaze did not want to work. One morning, Tunde suggested, "Maybe you should look for a job. It would be good for you to have something to do during the day." Adaze stared at him in disbelief. "A job? Me? Tunde, are you feeling well? I am Chief Okonkwo's daughter. I don't need to work. My father gives me everything I need." "But what about building something together as a couple?" Tunde asked desperately. "We don't need to build anything. My father has already built everything for us," Adaze replied coldly. Tunde realized at that moment that he had made a terrible mistake. He had married a woman who did not understand the meaning of partnership, hard work, or teamwork. Things got worse. Adaze began to disrespect Tunde in public. Whenever they went to parties or family gatherings, she would make jokes about how Tunde had nothing before he married her. "This is my husband Tunde," she would say to her friends. "He is lucky I married him. Before me, he was just a struggling insurance worker." Tunde would smile on the outside, but inside he was dying of shame. To make matters worse, Chief Okonkwo also began to treat Tunde like a servant rather than a son-in-law. "Tunde, go and wash my car," the chief would command whenever Tunde visited. "Tunde, go and buy me cigarettes from the shop. Tunde, tell the gate man to open the gate." Tunde had become like an errand boy in his own marriage. Meanwhile, his friends Chike and Uche were living happily. Whenever the 3 friends met for lunch under the mango tree at work, Chike and Uche would share stories about their wonderful marriages. "Amaka cooked the most delicious jollof rice yesterday," Chike would say with joy in his eyes. "And when I told her I wanted to save money to start a small business, she immediately agreed to reduce her spending so we can save together." "Ngozi is amazing," Uche would add. "She encourages me every day. She tells me I can achieve anything I set my mind to. Last week, she even started selling vegetables on the side to support our family income." Tunde would sit there quietly, unable to share any happy stories about his own marriage. "What about you, Tunde?" Chike asked one day. "How is life with Adaeze?" Tunde forced a smile. "Everything is fine. We are living in a big house, driving expensive cars. I am enjoying life." But his friends could see the sadness in his eyes. 1 year into the marriage, something terrible happened. Chief Okonkwo's businesses began to fail. One of his companies collapsed and he lost a lot of money. The chief was no longer as rich as before. This meant that the money Adaeze was used to receiving from her father suddenly reduced. And that was when Tunde saw the real Adaeze. "This is all your fault," she screamed at Tunde one evening. "If I had married a rich man like my father wanted, I would not be suffering like this." "But we are not suffering," Tunde tried to explain. "I still have my job. We still have this house. We still have food to eat. We are fine." "Fine? You call this fine?" Adaeze shouted. "I used to buy new clothes every week. Now I have to wear the same dress twice. Is this what you call fine? Tunde realized that Adieze had never loved him. She had only married him because she thought he would give her the lifestyle she wanted, supported by her father's wealth. Now that things were a bit difficult, her true character was showing. The situation became unbearable. Adieze stopped talking to Tunde. She would spend all day in the bedroom, crying and complaining on the phone to her friends. She refused to help with anything in the house. She would not cook, clean, or do any chores. "I am not a maid," she would scream if Tunde asked for her help. Tunde felt like he was living in prison. He would wake up, go to work, come back to an empty house even though Adieze was there, cook his own food, clean by himself, and go to bed alone. This was not the marriage he had dreamed of. One evening, Tunde broke down. He went to visit Chike and Uche. When he got there, he saw Chike playing with his baby son while Amaka cooked dinner in the kitchen. He saw Uche and Gozi laughing together as they planned their family budget. He saw love. He saw partnership. He saw what marriage was supposed to be. And he began to cry. "My brothers, I have made a terrible mistake," Tunde confessed through his tears. "I chose money over love. I chose wealth over character. And now I am paying the price." Chike and Uche put their arms around their friend. They did not say, "I told you so." They just listened as Tunde poured out his heart. "Adaize does not love me," Tunde continued. "She never did. She married me because she thought I would give her an easy life. But now that things are a little bit hard, she shows her true colors. She disrespects me. She does not help me. She does not support me. I am so lonely in my own marriage." "What will you do?" Uche asked gently. Tunde wiped his tears. "I don't know, but I know one thing. I was a fool. You both tried to warn me, but I did not listen. I thought money would make me happy, but I was wrong. True happiness comes from marrying someone with a good heart, someone who will stand by you in both good times and bad times." Tunde tried to fix his marriage. He sat Adaize down one day and said, "My dear, I know things have been hard, but we are husband and wife. We are supposed to face challenges together. Can we try to work on our marriage?" But Adaize looked at him with cold eyes. "Work on our marriage? Tunde, let me be honest with you. I only married you because my father approved, and I thought you would give me a good life. But you have disappointed me. You are not rich, you cannot give me the things I want, and I am tired of pretending to love you." Those words broke Tunde's heart into a million pieces. 2 years into the marriage, Adaize left. She packed her bags and went back to her father's house. "I am done with this poverty," she told Tunde before she left. "Find yourself a village girl who will be happy with nothing. I need more than this." Tunde did not try to stop her. He knew the marriage was over. After Adaize left, Tunde sat in the big empty house that Chief Okonkwa had given them. But even the chief was now demanding that Tunde return the house since his daughter was no longer living there. Tunde realized he had nothing. The car was in Adaize's name, the house belonged to her family. Everything he thought he had gained from the marriage was an illusion. He had wasted years of his life chasing money instead of love. And now he was alone, broken, and full of regret. 5 years later, Tunde was sitting under the mango tree at Gold Life Assurance, eating lunch by himself. His friends, Chike and Uche, joined him, as they always did. But things were different now. Chike had 3 children with Amaka, and their family was full of joy. Uche and Gozi had 2 children, and they were building a small business together on the side. Both couples were not rich, but they were happy. They had peace, they had love, they had partnership. Tunde was still single. After his divorce from Adaize, he had focused on healing his broken heart. He had learned his lesson the hard way. "I have finally learned the truth," Tunde told his friends one day. "Love is not about money. Marriage is not about wealth. It is about finding someone with a good heart, someone who will support you, respect you, and stand by you through thick and thin. Chike and Uche smiled at their friend. They were happy that he had finally understood. So, what will you do now? Uche asked. Tunde smiled a sad but wiser smile. Now, I will wait. And when I find a woman again, I will not ask about her father's money. I will ask about her character. I will look for her heart, not her bank account. Moral lesson. When choosing a life partner, always look for good character, loyalty, and a hard-working spirit. Do not be deceived by money or material things, because money can finish, but a good heart remains forever. A rich woman with a bad character will bring you suffering, but a poor woman with a good heart will bring you peace and happiness. Choose wisely, because the person you marry will determine whether your life will be heaven or hell. Love should never be blinded by greed. True wealth is found in a good wife or husband, not in their family's bank account. My dear friends, this story teaches us that when love is blinded by the desire for money, we pay a very heavy price. Tunde learned this lesson the hard way. Don't make the same mistake. When choosing who to marry, let your eyes be open to character, not closed by the glitter of gold. Hello besties, it's your girl Zini. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment for more interesting and educational stories. I love you all. Bye-bye.